If you radiate light, understand this parasites see you not as a soul, but as a resource. In every social encounter, someone is extracting value. Know whether it's you or them. This video is not a comfort. It is a weapon. They will call it love, admiration, even destiny. But behind their words lies a hunger. For the empath, life is an arena of unspoken transactions. You feel, they feed, you give, they grow. You were taught that your sensitivity is a gift, but what you were never taught is how predators view it as weakness. What Jung hinted at in Shadows, I will drag into the light to survive. You must learn not only who you are, but what others see when they look at you. This is not morality. This is strategy. And in this world, those who lack it become sustenance for those who don't. You believe your emotions are yours, that your compassion, your loyalty, your light is a gift. But in this world, gifts are rarely given freely. They are taken, disguised as appreciation, returned as obligation. You think you are giving from love, but others are calculating what they can take from your heart without ever having to repay the debt. Let me ask you, when you walk into a room, do you measure the energy, or do you offer it blindly, hoping to be understood? If you don't know what you're worth, someone else will decide it for you. In the game of power, emotion is currency, and empaths, they spend more than they possess. This is not new. Look to history. Consider Cicero, the Roman orator, brilliant, idealistic, endlessly loyal to the idea of the republic. But loyalty did not save him. He poured his convictions into speeches, while others sharpened their blades. Mark Antony had him executed, his hands and tongue nailed to the forum wall. Why? Because power devours sentiment when sentiment forgets its place. Empathy without strategy is not virtue, it's bait. Now, consider your own life. How many conversations have you left feeling emptied? How many people have come to you not to offer, but to unload? Disguising need as friendship, they call you a good listener, a safe place, but safe for whom? Certainly not for you. You give them your ear, they leave with your peace, and yet you return. Why? Because you confuse exhaustion with connection. You mistake emotional labor for intimacy. You've been taught that self-sacrifice is noble, that to be needed is to be loved. But Machiavelli would tell you, it is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. Because love fades, fear obeys. Do not misinterpret this. I am not suggesting cruelty. I am suggesting clarity. Empathy is not weakness, but unguarded empathy. That is suicide. The strategist knows each interaction is a negotiation, each expression of care a transaction. You must begin to think this way. You must weigh what your time, your attention, your emotions are worth, and who is deserving of them. Because the world is full of actors, and many have learned to mimic vulnerability just to unlock yours. They will tell you they're broken. So you open your hands. They will show you their wounds. So you pour your light into their darkness, and they will leave, full, while you, dim. You were never in a relationship. You were in a harvest. And this is the trade you never signed up for. But you made it all the same, because you believed emotion was sacred, unquantifiable. But everything that can be felt can be exploited. The wise do not discard empathy. They weaponize it. They direct it with purpose. They limit its reach. They ensure it flows toward allies, not opportunists. You are not here to be consumed. You are not here to be the feast at someone else's table. You are here to choose whom to feed, when to close your doors, and how to silence the hunger that is not yours to satisfy. So ask yourself, are you still giving without cost? Or are you finally learning what your light is actually worth? Because in the next breath, we will explore how the predators wear masks and why the most dangerous ones always smile first. You think you've met someone who understands you. They say all the right things. They laugh at the right time. They reflect your pain like a mirror. But you feel it, don't you? A quiet unease buried beneath the comfort. Something rehearsed. Something too perfect to be real. Good. That discomfort is your only line of defense. Because predators no longer wear fangs. They wear charm. And they feed not on flesh, but on trust. Look at how the cunning rise. They do not barge in. They enter like old friends. Their weapon is not force, it is familiarity. They listen, they nod, they offer empathy, rehearsed empathy, and in return, they receive the keys to your emotional vault. You think, at last, someone sees me. But ask yourself, how did they see so clearly, so quickly? What were they watching before they spoke? The manipulator studies you the way a hunter studies prey, with patience, with precision, with a smile. Take Cesare Borgia. Feared, yes, but before the blade came the charm. He lured allies with generosity, won cities with promises, embraced enemies with velvet gloves. Only later did they feel the steel beneath. This is strategy, calculated seduction. You think predators are loud. They aren't. They are attentive. They observe your wounds, not to heal them, but to calculate where to strike. They ask questions, not because they care, but because they're gathering intelligence. What do you fear? What do you need? What do you crave in others? And then they become that. That's the genius of the mask. It's crafted from your own reflection. They present the image you're already looking for. The perfect friend. The soulmate. The one who gets you. But you never stop to ask, who are they? What do they need? You never question it. Because their mask is made from your desire. This is not affection. It's access. You were never seen. You were profiled. You revealed your vulnerabilities, not realizing that every word was being weighed, filed away for later use. Because to the manipulator, your trauma is not sacred. It's leverage. Your empathy, a tool. Your need to be loved, an open wound to exploit. And the more they reflect you, the more you trust them. But what is trust without verification? It's submission. You see, the manipulator understands a simple truth. People don't fall for lies. They fall for what they want to be true. They don't deceive you directly. They let you fill in the blanks. You imagine the connection. You write the story. And when they finally take from you, your time, your peace, your soul, you blame yourself, not them. That is the brilliance of the mask. It doesn't just conceal. It converts. So, how do you defend yourself? You do not armor the heart. You sharpen the eye. Observe who asks more than they reveal, who listens too well, who always agrees, yet somehow remains untouched. And when someone seems too aligned, too perfect, too fast, pause. Because the most dangerous people in your life will never raise their voice. They will raise your expectations. Until you forget that masks were made for deception. In the next breath, we will expose how your own words, your trust, becomes their favorite weapon, and why silence is often the greatest form of power. You speak too soon. You explain too much. You believe that if they just understand your pain, they won't misuse it. That's your first mistake. In the realm of power, the first to speak is often the first to fall. You confuse connection with confession. You assume that sharing your wounds makes you human. It doesn't. It makes you legible, predictable, easy to map, and easier to manipulate. Let me ask you, who benefits when you open your heart without a filter? Who gains power when you hand them a blueprint of your fears, your hopes, your history? They do, not you. Understand this, in every interaction, information is a weapon, and the person who holds more wins. Think of espionage. Why do spies never speak freely? Because even a whisper can collapse an empire. Loose lips don't just sink ships, they sink souls. You think you're bonding, they're collecting. What you say in vulnerability, they remember in silence. They may nod, they may smile, but behind the mask, they are categorizing. He fears abandonment, she craves validation, he needs to be seen, she hates rejection. And once they know these things, they no longer need to overpower you, they only need to guide you. With subtle praise, with slight withdrawal, with calculated silence. And you follow, willingly, because you gave them the instruction manual. Now think, have you ever noticed how the powerful speak? Measured, sparse, strategic. They don't speak to be understood. They speak to control understanding. Their words are tools, not releases. Julius Caesar said little in public, but when he did, entire crowds shifted. Because when you hold back, every word gains weight. Now ask yourself, how much have your words weighed lately? Or are you giving them away by the dozen, desperate to be known? You've been conditioned to think silence is emptiness. It isn't. It's leverage. Silence forces others to reveal themselves, to fill the void, to guess what you're thinking. And when they guess wrong, you learn more than if you had ever asked. Power is not loud. It is composed, unreadable. Machiavelli warned rulers, reveal nothing unnecessary, because even truths can be used against you. Do you see now? Your vulnerability isn't sacred. It's strategic capital. Spend it too freely, and you become bankrupt. Guard it, and you become unpredictable. And unpredictability, that is power. It keeps the enemy nervous. It keeps the manipulator guessing. It shifts the dynamic, so you are no longer reacting. You are observing. Let them talk. Let them reveal their patterns. Let them seek your softness and find silence instead. That silence will become your shield, and then your sword. Because when you are no longer desperate to be understood, you become dangerous. So, I ask again, why do you speak? To heal, or to be handled? Remember this, even the kindest smile can carry a sharp intention, and the words you offer in trust may one day return as threats. In the next breath, we will confront the cost of your radiance, and why your light, unless governed, will always invite the hungriest darkness. You think light protects you. You think kindness disarms evil. You think that by being good, you'll be spared. But light doesn't save you. It exposes you. And when you shine without discipline, you don't inspire the world, you invite the wolves. Empaths live under an illusion that their love can change others, that their warmth will melt the cold, that their light can reach into shadows and transform what lies there. But light doesn't change darkness. It reveals it. And when you shine indiscriminately, you reveal yourself, while the world watches, calculates, and takes. You walk into rooms radiating energy. You carry warmth in your voice. You make others feel safe. But who makes you feel safe? Who protects the source of that light? You were not born with armor, but you must learn to craft it, because your light is not sacred to them. It's fuel, and once they've fed, they will move on. You don't believe me? Look at history. Girolamo Savonarola, a fiery preacher in Florence, radiant in conviction, pure in intent. He believed his vision would cleanse the city. For a time, they adored him, followed him, worshipped him. But the crowd that praised him later lit the flames beneath his feet. Even the brightest fire, when not controlled, burns itself to death. Empathy without strategy is exposure. Light without direction is blindness. You keep offering yourself to people who do not earn it, to situations that drain you, to conversations that go nowhere. Why? Because you confuse openness with purpose. You confuse being seen with being respected. And worst of all, you confuse availability with value. Machiavelli understood power is preserved by limitation. Make yourself too accessible, and you become common. Your light must be earned, not given freely, not shown on every passerby. You need to learn detachment, not the cold void of apathy, but the disciplined precision of a strategist. Detach from the need to fix. Detach from the hunger to be understood. Detach from the fantasy that your love will rescue those who are committed to remaining broken. Let the broken drown, if they refuse to swim. Your purpose is not to carry corpses across rivers. The oak tree does not chase the wind. It roots deeper and lets the storm prove who can stand beside it. Do the same. Begin observing. Stop explaining. Start measuring who deserves your energy. When you shine, shine with awareness. Shine with direction. Shine with boundaries. Because boundaries are not cruelty, they are containment, and what is not contained will be consumed. Even a fire, left unchecked, burns the very house it was meant to warm. You must stop apologizing for your power and start controlling its flow. Let others wonder what you're thinking. Let them feel your silence more than your approval. Let them earn access to your inner world. You are not a well to be drained. You are a fortress, lit from within. The truly powerful empaths are not open fields. They are hidden gardens, guarded, quiet, alive. So will you continue to be the feast for the starving, or will you become the fire they dare not touch? Because in the next breath, we uncover the final truth. Even the purest light can cast the longest shadow. They believe control is loud, obvious, forceful, but the most effective control is invisible. You guide thought without words. You shape emotion without touch. You make others believe your will is their choice. That is mastery. People want to be understood. They crave connection. And in that craving, they become predictable. Predictability breeds control. Ask yourself, are you the one shaping the game? Or are you still playing by rules you didn't write? The world is not ruled by power. It is ruled by those who understand perception. Now, reflect. Which part of you is still feeding others? And which part is ready to feed on understanding? Comment what struck you. Not to be seen, but to solidify your awareness. Subscribe if you value strategy over sentiment. Share this with someone you study or someone you intend to influence. Not for the algorithm, for the advantage. Because those who spread light care about approval. But those who spread ideas control the future.